Righty, there we go, everybody. How's it going? Miguel Rodriguez here for the Second Third Podcast, and I do have a special guest for you guys today. I'm going to let him introduce himself in just a second, but do me a favor, give this a share, get a cigar ready, get ready to have a good time, because it's going to be a fun conversation. I can already tell. So I'm going to roll that intro, and we'll be back with you right after this, guys.
I don't know if this is true, but every time I look back on the years, I feel like I wasted my youth. How did I get so cold? How do I wind up every single day going through this life all alone? When am I gonna change? Another day, another month, another year, and still I feel just the same. Oh, help me, I can't shake this feeling away. Help me, I feel like I'm going insane. Help me, I got nowhere to go, I'm afraid. Help me turn this around here today. There's no laughter these days. Far too seldom do I get the chance to even put a smile on my face.
And there we go, everybody. How is it going? Thank you for tuning in to the Second Third Podcast, our Thursday show of the week. And I have a wonderful guest today. Sir, how you doing? Before we get into joining things, how's your day going?
My day's going great. Every day I look up, it's a good day.
I like it. I love that right there. I love it. Now, I would like you to give everybody a little introduction to yourself so we can make sure they get a little proper introduction.
Well, as you can see on the screen, my name is Brad Burko, and I've been living the past 27 or so years in Phoenix and Scottsdale, Arizona, where it's another beautiful day in the Valley of the Sun. And as of October 1, I was appointed the managing director of Bahama Mama's Company, which is a big title. Basically, I'm in charge of things. And been 25 years in the cigar industry as a wholesaler, a wholesaler to on-premise accounts like casinos, golf courses, chain stores, etc. This is the first time I had a retail store, I should say, for about 8 years here in Scottsdale. Got out of that business. And back in September or so, I was called by a good friend to take over this position. So I'm very happy with it. You having problems hearing me?
No, you're coming in clear as a bell. Don't worry.
All right, fine. So, we have Bahama Mama's Company. It's been around a few years. We took a break the past 6-7 months because of COVID-19, getting shipments from the DR, closures of a lot of cigar stores, folks not going into cigar stores, mainly ordering online. Nothing wrong with that, but, mainly ordering online.
Oh, yeah.
And when my friend called me to take this position, I said, John, I trust you. You know what you're doing. You've been around for a long time. You have a wealth of experience. I said, however, I have to smoke these cigars because before taking you on, I got to like these cigars, and if I don't, I'll give you my honest opinion. But if I like them, I'll take on the position. So he sent me both lines of the cigars. And I'll just show you real briefly. One is, I don't know if you can see that. It's called the Bahama Mama's cigar. And our other is La Mirada cigars. And basically the Bahama Mama's cigar is a infused brand of cigars. We have 4 different infusions. One is the Bardstown Blend Bourbon, which I'm going to be smoking. I know you're smoking the Freeport rum, Miguel.
That is right here.
There you go. And we also have a Madagascar, which has got a vanilla accent. And we have a Braziliana, which has got a coffee accent.
Yes.
And these cigars, I have to say, are absolutely delicious. You know, I figure that I'm like an average cigar smoker as far as my palate and what have you. I don't like anything too strong. But I also was not a fan of infused or flavored cigars. I'd smoke them every now and then. It'd be like dessert for me. But these cigars, they have a nice sweet cap to it. Then it dissipates, and it's got a very subtle flavor to it, like you were describing in the morning show. And you know, it's not an overpowering flavored or infused cigars, and I'm not going to name the brands. Everybody's doing a great job. I respect everyone. But I don't like to go into a cigar lounge where it smells like potpourri, if you know what I mean. And or sit next to somebody smoking a flavored cigar when I'm smoking, you know, a non-flavored cigar. But these Bahama Mamas, you can smoke it in a lounge full of ladies and gentlemen. You can smoke it anytime, morning, noon, or night. It's a great complement to whatever you want to drink, whether it's bourbon, rum, single malt scotch, coffee, Diet Dr. Pepper, whatever you want. So it's real good. I enjoy the heck out of it. And, you know, the qualities that I have to have in a cigar, the most important thing to me, I'm sure to you and most cigar smokers out there, is it has to have a good draw. If it doesn't have a good draw, and you know, you have to be like a Hoover vacuum machine trying to draw that thing in, you know, it's a little ridiculous. You know, I might give the cigar a half an inch, but after that, you know, I'll put it down because I hate having to work on the draw. And this has got a real easy draw to it, where, you know, you put out a big bowl of smoke, and I love that. And the second thing that I love and have to have is a nice even burn. Now, obviously, it helps if you know how to light. There you go. It helps if you know how to light your cigar. And, you know, as everyone knows, you should light it around the whole circumference of the cigar.
100%.
And, you know, blow on it a little bit, get the embers going. But this cigar just burns real evenly throughout the whole cigar. After an inch and a half, I usually tap out the ash because, you know, I've been doing this a long time. I hate getting ash on my shirts. I hate it.
Yeah, I feel that.
And so between the easy draw, the even burn, the great ash, the wonderful taste to this cigar, I just think it has everything from me as a regular cigar smoker, and I think I represent most everyday cigar smokers. And it's great for the person that loves a subtle infused cigar. If you want something that's overpowering with any flavor or what have you, you should get that. But this is a subtle flavor. You could taste the rum, you could taste the bourbon, you could taste the vanilla or the coffee, but a subtle taste. And hopefully, Miguel, you agree with that.
I can every point you just made, I'm agreeing with this cigar right here in my hand. For number one, the draw is very good. The worst thing, I hate it when a draw is unreliable. I'll give it that at best. I'll be gentle when I say that. But real quick, I'm so sorry, guys. I want to make sure. Kendall, Leo, Johnny, thank you. Paul, Cam, everybody in the comments. I'm so sorry. Josh, Tom, Robert, Kevin, Timothy. Sorry, I didn't get to you guys. But we are, don't worry, I will be reading some comments in just a second. But I do want to get back to my cigar right now because, yes, the draw is excellent. The burn is going very well for me. And the flavors, they are subtle. It's not overpowering. It's not making me like, It's not like all of a sudden there's a bunch of candy in my mouth and I'm smoking candy for some reason. I never want to do that. There's these subtle, very nice rum notes I'm getting here, and you get that sweet tip like you were explaining before, that cap. It's very enjoyable all the way through. And I'm not gonna lie to you right now. I'm on a bit of a kick as far as I can't have as much alcohol as I would like to. Trying to be healthy in the new year. So this is a nice treat.
It's a great healthy way to start the new year. It's one way to put it. But the other thing that I love about the cigar is not only does it burn evenly, but it stays lit. I mean, I rarely have to relight this cigar as I smoke it down. And even if I, tap out the ash after an inch and a half, it still just burns evenly, and it stays lit. It's wonderful. I mean, I've been buying some cigars lately, some big name brand cigars that, I smoke it for an inch and a half, and then all of a sudden I have to relight it. And I'm a real cigar smoker. I draw on my cigar every 30 seconds, every minute, no more than a minute, let's say. And that cigar should stay lit. Even if you put it down for a couple of minutes, you bring it back up, you draw on it, you still got a great bowl of smoke and a great draw.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah, I do not like to babysit my cigars. They should be able to stay lit for at least a couple of minutes. When we're working over at Cigars and More, if I'm helping out a customer, pick something out, and I come back and it's still burning, that is a great sign to me. I mean, sometimes I'm gone. Okay, I'm gone for like 15, 20 minutes. Then that's on me. I understand that.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure.
But if it's 3 to 5 minutes and it's still burning, I say that's quality right there. You've done a great job construction wise.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and speaking of quality and construction, these cigars, these Bahama Mama cigars, are made for us at the La Aurora factory in the Dominican Republic. So everyone knows the La Aurora factory. It's the biggest factory in the DR. It's the oldest factory in the DR. It's one of the oldest there is in the world. So they blend great cigars. Their tobacco quality is excellent, and they use a medium to dark Sumatra wrapper on the cigar. It's got a Criollo filler. It's got Dominican Piloto binder for those of you that like to get really specific. They're a great source of great tobacco, and they make a great cigar. So we're very confident in the cigar that we have out there.
Oh, that's definitely a great place to get tobacco from. Great people. Like you said, a long history of quality and excellence in the industry. And real quick, Chris, how you doing, brother? Over in Ridgecrest, Doug checking in as well over in Texas. I see we got a couple of people from Arizona checking in as well. Perfect timing because we got someone on Arizona on the show right now. Now, I would love to go a little more into, because you said we got the rum, that vanilla, the coffee, and the bourbon. Excellent choices. I like that lineup. I'm very much a big fan of the coffee one, especially for me in the mornings. I'm drinking my black coffee. I'm having a coffee cigar. Coffee on top of coffee it just makes the world go round, all right? Coffee every day of the week for me. I can't have enough. So when I get a really good coffee-infused cigar, for those flavors, you got me all the time on a regular basis. Very.
Right. And if you're gonna smoke like the Bardstown, Kentucky bourbon blend cigar, a bourbon goes really well with that. But I've been doing this, and I've been teaching cigar seminars all over the country. And I always say, I don't care what you're drinking, as long as you're smoking. So, different strokes for different folks. I think I heard you or your brother last week on a podcast talk about somebody drinks a chocolate milkshake.
Yes.
So, if that's what they're happy with, God bless them. I mean, I have to drink something with the cigar, whether it's a Diet Dr. Pepper, a coffee, or a cocktail. But there's lots of people out there that don't have to drink anything, just smoke their cigar and enjoy it.
I'm in your camp, though. I need a drink. I actually filled up a cup over here, so I got Diet Coke on hand.
Yeah, I got something like that also. But, another great thing about this cigar, or the Bahama Mama cigars, like our other cigar we'll be talking about in a little while, It comes in 4 different sizes. It comes in a gordito, which is like, the nub size cigar, 4.5 by a 54 ring gauge, a Toro, which is a 64, a Robusto, which is 5 by 48, and the Petite Corona, which is 4.25 by 42. Now, all 4 of those cigars come in boxes of 20. Everything's cellophaned, and everything is barcoded, which makes it really easy on the retailers.
That is
The Petite Corona also comes in 4-pack sleeves. So if you want a little box of cigars to go to have them in the evening, walking the dog, a 10-minute smoke, that's a great, great pack to get. And a beautiful thing, especially for most of your listeners, Cigars and More, other retailers in California, the pricing is very, very affordable. And, that's super important with states like yourself, New York, Nevada, Colorado, Michigan, so many states that have these oppressive taxes. Here in Arizona, we're lucky. It's only 22 cents a stick. And that hasn't changed in 25 years, which is beautiful. But our cigars go anywhere from $4 to $6 on the Bahama Mamas. So that's a great price point, whether you're getting a Petite Corona, a Toro, or Gordito, or whatever you want in our portfolio. But I'm smoking a Toro, and I love this size. This size is great.
excellent, Colin. Yeah, you said absolutely nailed the head right there. It is an excellent price point for these cigars. I feel that infused cigars in California, the price point has keep bumping up on us little by little, to where it's just some of them are astronomical. It feels crazy to me, but that is night and day now that we're talking about these right now.
Yeah, I mean the big name in infused cigars, so to speak, the one that started it many years ago. I won't mention the brand name, but they're a great cigar. I'm friends with the owner. I've been friends with him for, 25 plus years. Their cigar has to cost in California $15 at least.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money. And, here in Arizona, if you spend $15 on a cigar, you're getting the Padron anniversary. So there's a big, big difference, but it's very affordable. And, I always say, if you're paying that lower price for a premium cigar, somehow that cigar tastes a whole lot better.
I think so. I agree with that. Yeah. It's like the idea of if you win a cigar from your buddy, like you bet, their cigar just tastes a little bit better than yours sometimes.
Right. No, exactly. And, so we're very happy with these cigars. They're doing a great job for us. And the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
I can smoke it down to the nub.
I have a feeling I'm going to. I think so. I think it's happening today. I'm with Chris on this. Got to move to Arizona.
Yeah, why waste a good cigar? I mean, I hate doing that. It's like if you pay $10 for a cigar and smoke it halfway down, you basically threw away $5. Doesn't make any sense.
100%.
So, I light these up, I smoke it down to the nub. I enjoy the heck out of it as it goes all the way down.
Nice, very nice. And real quick, Larry, how you doing, brother? Over in Missouri, glad to see you. Let's see. Paul says a pina colada flavored, and he's got a little one of these thinking emojis there. And I like Alex's question here. Do you guys plan to release any stronger blends in the future? There's going to be anything with them ramped up.
Yes, we do. We have plans for the first quarter, or maybe by the first half of this new year, to get some more medium to fuller bodied cigars. More than 50% of all cigar smokers out there like mild or mild to medium cigars. It's very, there's only a few, and, it might be 10, 20% of cigar smokers like a real bold cigar. I remember when I had my retail store, when I first opened it, I had a gentleman come in about 9:30 in the morning, asked if we had the Camacho Triple Maduro. Now, I know that I've smoked that cigar in the evening, and it's really bold for me. But the guy, surprisingly, sat down in my lounge and started smoking on that cigar. And I asked him, I said, isn't that cigar a little strong for this hour today? He says, it beats 3 espressos. So, I always say different strokes for different folks. And, that's why we have 1,000+ different cigars out there. I mean, you have some cigar manufacturers that are making 40, 50, 60 different line extensions. And it's to satisfy everyone's palate. It's to satisfy everyone's pocketbook. And it's to satisfy the length of time people want to smoke a cigar.
100%. I get that. And you're speaking of those stronger cigars in the mornings. Yeah, I usually, if you guys out there, you've seen the morning show and whatnot, it's usually not something super bold when I start the day off. But there are those special occasions where, you know what, I need a Cro-Magnon, or I need a Brimstone right now. I need something to really jog the day. I mean, I'm still going to have my coffee, but those stronger cigars will wake you up or make you need to lay down for a minute. So it's kind of a coin toss for me. Goodness, can't even say that.
Yeah, but cigar companies today are just fooling around and mixing different blends and trying to come up with something new. Cigars have been around for a long time, and I can't believe how often new cigars and new blends are introduced. You just have to be more creative than the next guy and come up with something. In addition to the fact of these boxes and labels being like such great pieces of work, like you have with your Pariah cigars.
Thank you.
That design is fantastic.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, that's 100% true. Just as creative as you can be. I mean, there's really no limits when you look at these boxes. I'm really digging. I think I forget their name. It's like something Clown Cigars. They came out with this clown logo for it. I've seen it online a few times. I have one sitting in a humidor now, thanks to a buddy. Can't wait to try that one out. It's very cool. But then I gotta say, as great as the fancier logos are, I can use mine. I'll use my band over here. It won't drop on me. I like this right here. It looks clean. It looks professional. It's something that would catch my eye in the humidor right there, and it's got exactly what I need. It says what I'm getting, and it's nothing flamboyant by any chance, but it is exactly what I see in a cigar band. Exactly what I want to see.
Yeah, no, sure, and it's got the picture of almost like a sunrise with a palm tree in there, and every one of our Bahama Mama cigars will tell you the blend on the cigar, whether it's the Bardstown, the Freeport rum, etc. So, you're not confused as to what you're smoking. Maybe you're feeling or tasting different flavors on your palate, but then you have to look at the cigar. Oh, yeah, this is the bourbon. So it works really well. And by the way, we received a 90 rating on our Bahama Mama cigar by Cigar and Spirits magazine last year. A 90 rating, so that's excellent. And we received the same 90 rating by Cigar and Spirits magazine on our second line of cigars, which is the La Mirada, which is a non-infused cigar. And so we're really happy about achieving both those ratings, especially as a young cigar company.
That is phenomenal right there. I love to hear that. And I like when they're willing to get some reviews to companies that you see them do a lot of the bigger names. And it's like, you got to move around a bit. You got to give some other people a chance once in a while. And to hear that they've given such a great rating makes me very happy to hear.
Yeah, no, it helps. It's not Cigar Aficionado, if you will, and I love Cigar Aficionado, but any of these cigar ratings, whether it's in Cigar and Spirits, Cigar Snob, Stogie Press, or Cigar Press doesn't do ratings, but you get a rating by anyone, you get a review by somebody like yourself who's out there in the social media. It helps. It always helps.
Good. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help get the word out about great brands such as yourself. And there's a good question. Oh, Martin, real quick, had an Avo this morning. Excellent call, the Ritmo. And he hasn't had a Bahama yet. I think you're going to have to hop on that. You're going to have to try that out. And Board Talk coming in with, which cigar brands do you admire or respect? Is there a couple out there that kind of stick in your mind?
Well, you have to go with a lot of the big companies like Arturo Fuente. They have an unbelievable assortment of cigars. The same thing with the Padrones. My friend Nick Perdomo puts out great cigars up and down his line. But for boutique cigars, which we are, I love Dr. Gabby Caffey, who started the Boutique Cigar Association. His Caffey 1901 brand of cigars. He now has, I think, 49 different facings. And, he makes a great cigar. As a matter of fact, when I was a retailer, you have to carry the big legacy brands. You have to carry a lot of the Alta this. You have to carry a lot of the General Cigar, the Perdomos, the Fuentes, Olivas, etc. But, the first question I get by most people when they came into my store, whether it was a regular, a member, or somebody new, they would go, what do you have that's new? And that's why I would bring in boutique brands. And if they didn't sell, they didn't sell. I try something else. But I always gave boutique brands, 6 months to sell and see what happens. And I've loved as a retailer supporting the boutique brands. And now I'm looking for retailers and others to help support our Bahama Mamas company brands. So that's always good. But, I like a good cigar. I don't care if it's a $2-3 cigar or a $50 cigar. And mind you, I'm not going to smoke a whole lot of $50 cigars. I'm not going to smoke a whole lot of $2 cigars. But, our cigars are right in everyone's price point and affordable for everyone. So, we're up against a lot of competition, but that's why boutique cigars are out there to give somebody another alternative to what they normally smoke. I mean, as a cigar smoker, I know different brands that I always like to smoke. But when I travel, I always like to go into a cigar store and look for something I've never smoked, give it a try, or I'll go back to a cigar I've smoked like 2-3 years ago, but maybe I don't remember it, or maybe I do remember it, and I want that feeling again. So, boutique cigars, and we're members of the Boutique Cigar Association, so we try to support other boutiques as well.
Very nice, very nice. And absolutely, I definitely do the same thing. When I go to a new lounge, I'm looking for something new. A brand I haven't seen before, a different cigar from a brand I love already, but maybe I don't have that particular cigar in my neck of the woods. And then the next step is, maybe it's been a couple years or a couple months maybe I haven't had this cigar, but I remember I liked it. So it's time to go back. It's time to get that memory back in my mind. And
right. And if you're a good owner of a retail cigar store or a general manager of a cigar store, you bring in cigars that you not only like, but it will appeal to others. I brought in cigars I really didn't care for, but I had a number of people that did care for it, so I brought it in. But as a retailer, if I brought that cigar in, I could always sell it. I could always sell that cigar because I know the nuances of the different cigars, and I can talk to the customer as somebody who owns or runs the stores, usually for the most part, and hopefully so that they have a lot of knowledge about cigars and tobacco. So, if you just go out and ask your tobacconist or the manager of the store, what's in this cigar, or is it strong, is it mild, whatever, they'll be able to tell you.
That's a huge help. It's a huge plus when you're in a lounge for the first time. That friendly, welcoming vibe. And then if they know what they're talking about, it just blows you away, those moments. And
Mhm.
It feels like being back at your home lounge at that point. That's what it's like for me, at least.
Right. But that person that had the comment about the Avo cigar, I think a great cigar to match up against that Avo is our La Mirada cigars, which are mild to medium bodied. And can I talk about those cigars now?
Yes, please.
All righty. Hold on. Let me get out my La Mirada. So hopefully you could see the band. Wait a second. Let me see. I'm not great with the camera. That's the La Mirada. And the La Mirada in Spanish is the view. And it's like you're in your backyard and you're looking at your beautiful backyard, or you're out on your balcony at a resort overlooking the ocean. You're taking in the view, you're going to a different place. And, for me, like a lot of other cigar smokers, we could be having a really lousy day. All right. I don't want to get political, but like most people, you watched the news yesterday with everything going on in the nation's capital, and it disgusted me. And I was in a really sour mood. So I turned off the TV after an hour or so, went outside, lit up a cigar, and I got cheery again. So I'll light up this cigar, and this cigar, like our La Mirada, like our Bahama Mamas company, or Bahama Mamas cigars, is made for us at Tabacalera Palma in the DR. And Tabacalera Palma is a very well-known factory. Yogi Blanco is the master blender and owns Tabacalera Palma. And he puts out some great cigars as well. And, so we're happy that they blended our cigars and manufacture our cigars.
Oh, great combination right there. I love it.
We have great partners as far as the manufacturing and the blending of our cigars. So we're very, very happy about that. And this cigar features, and it's a new term that I had never heard of or used before, but the wrapper on this cigar features a true, that's the word that I've never heard before describe this wrapper, a true aged Connecticut shade wrapper. And by true, it's meant that the wrapper is truly grown in the state of Connecticut.
Oh, nice.
So, they've been growing tobacco in Connecticut since the Civil War. And, they have tens of thousands of acres of land. And it's expensive land in Connecticut that they grow tobacco. And the best wrapper leaf, I don't want to argue with Carlito Fuente with his Opus X and his, Dominican shade or Dominican wrapper, because that's a heck of a cigar, one of the best I've ever smoked. But this Connecticut shade wrapper, first of all, aesthetically, it's beautiful. Doesn't have any veins. The color is gorgeous, etc. But it's got also Dominican filler and binder tobaccos. And just like the Bahama Mamas, the draw is nice and easy. The burn is even, has a beautiful ash to it, and it just stays lit throughout the entire length of the cigar.
Definitely need that. That's a requirement right there, and I appreciate whenever it does that.
Right.
Real quick, it looks like Brian worked for Cigars and Spirits magazine back in the day with Lincoln Salazar. Very nice. Very
Yes.
nice. And he's about to light up a Protocol Red Label. Excellent call. I think that's correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the Probable Cause is the Red Label. Help me out here, Brian, because you know I need your help from time to time, brother. You know I do. And Don Olivon is amazing. Banff as well. Chris, I know. I got to get you on here as well. And Leo says wants to thank you for that. Yeah, he's also a big proponent of it. It doesn't have to be the world's most expensive cigar to be a good cigar. There are so many great cigars at great price points that you're doing yourself, I think, a disservice if you kind of look over them, There's a reason they're made. There's a reason there's whiskeys at different prices, that there's tequilas at different prices, because there is quality amongst all the ranks. You just got to find what sits best for you. It's personal choice. I get that, but don't forget to just broaden the horizons once in a while.
Right. I mean, you go into a retail store, and just because a cigar sells for $4, it doesn't mean it's a bad cigar. It's like bundle cigars. If people are on a budget and they only want to spend $3-4 on a cigar, I mean, there is a number of bundled cigars out there that I can smoke on a regular basis. But, just as the Bahama Mama cigars are affordable, these are very affordable. Anywheres from $7.50 to $8.50 retail. Comes in also 4 different sizes. It comes in a Corona Gorda 5 5/8 by 46, a Robusto regular 5 by 50, a Toro, a normal 6 by 52, and the Gordo Magnifico, which is my favorite, is 6 by 60. Ooh. I love those size cigars. I like cigars that have a lot of filler tobacco, but then you taste less of the wrapper leaf. The more filler you have, the fatter the cigar. So, I see a comment by Andy Scharfman, who I've known forever. Wants to know how much weight did Brad lose. Andy, thank you for noticing. I lost over 7 pounds this past year, and I'm still working at it.
Jeez, excellent.
Andy, I just want to wish on the air good health to you. I know you've been undergoing some issues, but I'm always thinking of you, brother. We had good times together in my lounge when Andy would be there representing his cigars.
Very nice. And man, that is an impressive feat. I've also been doing that, trying to get a little healthier. I lost about 60 pounds over 2020. Figure if I was sitting there, I may as well not be sitting there and go do something.
Right.
Like a lot of other people, our normal job, the family's construction cleaning company, got put on the back burner. A lot of places shut down. So a lot of the show, the morning show in particular, came out of necessity to get back to work, to do something, to be creative and keep adapting to what's happening around us. And, I figured I got the time, try to lose some weight, get a little bit less Miguel.
Absolutely. I wanted to learn how to play a piano, but I never did that.
Same here.
I wanted to learn something new, but, past the time of day, and, I still continue to do that. My wife's a school teacher. So right now she's on virtual with her class. However, next week she returns to the classroom. And that's always scary because they come in contact with a lot of kids. Those kids may be COVID carriers, maybe not. But she is a teacher. And as a teacher, at least in Arizona, her vaccination level is at 1B. So the first group is the essential healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, what have you, and also those folks in nursing homes over 75. But she's in the next group. So thankfully, by the end of this month, beginning of next month, she'll be vaccinated. So that's a good thing. And to everyone out there, good health. I know I've seen on Facebook in the last week or so that my good friends Jose Blanco and Skip Martin both have caught the COVID. Jose a little bit worse than Skip, but I'd like to wish them both, as I'm sure you do and your listeners do, good health and get well real soon.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think as much as I would like to see schools return to normal, I definitely understand what you say with your hesitation there a bit, because I mean, of all groups to kind of protect, I think kids is a big one in my opinion, just because it's hard to explain to them to stay away from each other when they haven't seen each other in almost a year. When so much has changed for them, and you're asking them to sit and be still for so long. I just hope we do that in a very cautious way. And I am very glad to see them, because online schooling is driving my younger brothers and sisters crazy, and they're doing their best, but they definitely miss their friends. They miss the actual school environment, which I'm glad to see they miss school. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, I'm quite a bit older than you, so I don't have any young ones at home. But I can't imagine having my son, learning virtually. because it's almost like 1 year of missing school. And it's difficult for whether they're, in second, third grade or a junior or senior in high school. They don't get the same experience, not only in the classroom and learning, but socially, especially for the younger kids. They don't get that. And, going back to cigars and talking about social ability, I personally visit like 3, 4, 5 cigar stores a week. My wife doesn't like me doing that, and I understand, but it's a necessity. I mean, the best way to sell cigars is in person as opposed to over the phone. It's very difficult. I mean, we'll send cigar samples over the phone to anyone to consider for their retail store. My email address, by the way, is Brad, B-R-A-D, at Bahama, Mamas, M-A-M-A-S, cigar, singular.com. So it's Brad at BahamaMamasCigar.com. And our website is real simple. It's just BahamaMamasCigar.com. We're always working to update it. But anybody out there that is looking for our cigars in their retail stores, just email us and we'll see what we can do. But when I go to visit those cigar stores, some of the cigar stores don't allow smoking inside the store. It's just come in, buy your cigar, and leave. Other stores don't mind you smoking cigars. So I'll have a smoke in the store because I love to smoke cigars in cigar stores, cigar lounges.
Oh, yeah.
But I will always go in the corner and be socially distant and smoke my cigar. I'm not going to join a group of 4 or 5 guys that are a couple of feet away from each other and everybody's blowing smoke on each other and coughing and sneezing, what have you. You still have to be careful. I don't know how it is in California or a couple of other parts of the country, but some of the walk-in humidors, some of the retailers I go to, they require you to wear a mask to go in the humidor. Some don't. Others require you not only to wear a mask, but also to soap up. Use a soap that they'll provide you with to go in the humidor. And that makes sense to me because if you have COVID or you're asymptomatic or what have you, and you're touching the cigar, whether it's wrapped with cellophane or unwrapped, you could be spreading COVID. And there's lots of unknowns. But I go to the cigar stores here in Arizona. A lot of these guys I know, and we're getting very well received, and getting reorders and just enjoying the heck out of it.
That's what I like to hear. Absolutely. And 100% that one-on-one camaraderie amongst the cigar industry is still number one. No matter what's going on in the world, I think the most important thing and one of the best things about the cigar community is those connections you make, those in-person connections. Because I honestly wouldn't get to hang out with half the people that I know of if it wasn't for cigars. I wouldn't have had that opportunity to get to know these people. And it's been a very big part of my life ever since I started smoking cigars. And I was never one to expect that. But I'm very glad it's turned out the way it has.
Right. Great friendships are made over a cigar and are made at cigar stores and cigar lounges. When I would travel with my wife, 2019 and before, she would want to go, like, let's say we're in Vegas. She would want to go to the Caesars Forum shops. And I love shopping myself, but I'd rather smoke a cigar. So she'll drop me off at Casa Fuente. Almost everyone knows Casa Fuente store in the Caesars Forum shops. And, it used to be about 3, 4, 5 years ago, they used to have tables and chairs extended further into the mall. But the mall restricted it quite a bit. And I think there's only 5 or 6 tables that go out into the mall. But my wife would drop me off at Casa Fuente and she'd say, well, when do you want me to come back? And I said, honey, take your time. Well, take my time. That might mean 3, 4 hours, Brad. And I'll say, honey, I'll be in the same seat. Don't worry. I might have to get up 2-3 times and buy some more cigars and drink their delicious mojitos, serve beautiful cocktail waitresses. But, I love going to cigar stores across the country. And the one great thing about a cigar, you can always make friends in a cigar store, even if you don't know anyone, as long as you have a personality and are willing to talk. Because I don't care if you're worth $10 million and I'm worth $10. If you're a big CEO of some Fortune 500 company, or I'm just working at McDonald's, you all have something in common. You have that cigar in common. You have that bond. That's why there's brothers of the leaf, sisters of the leaf, because we all have a commonality and we enjoy smoking a cigar. And from talking about the cigars that we're smoking, we get, what do you do for a living? What sort of family life do you have, etc.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, I've been in conversations where, gentlemen are talking about their work or what they've been through in life. And one of my buddies was telling me the first time I made my first million, it was different than that. I can't relate, but I love this conversation. I would want to hear more. And it's a very good learning experience for someone like myself to hear these people who have done more than I have in life, or people who have done differently in my life and different experiences, whatever it may be, to hear other stories out there. And then people who seem to be genuinely interested in hearing what I have to say too. It seems like there's a lot of genuine people who smoke cigars and enjoy them together.
Yeah, I think they put down all their pretenses for the most part when they go to a cigar store, and it's not about the Ferrari you're driving or the Chevrolet you're driving or what you have in the bank or what size house you have, what have you. It's about the cigars. It's about the camaraderie. And this La Mirada Toro will last me almost an hour and a half. And, geez, I could have a great hour and a half conversation with anyone. And you always ask, so what are you smoking? How do you like it? What am I smoking? How do I like it? You can always, as long as you have a personality, like I said, if you want to be in the corner and just smoke your cigar, mind your business, you can do that. But, if you're looking for a little conversation, you could do that too in any cigar store.
Absolutely. Those are the best times right there, when you find common ground or some sort of fascinating story from someone else that you've never met before. And then all of a sudden, an hour later, you guys seem to have known each other for years almost.
Right. And I'll always look at what cigar the other guys or gals are smoking next to me. And I'll ask them how they're enjoying it. How's the burn? How's the draw, etc. And if they give it a glowing recommendation, like I would on our cigars, there's a good chance that I'll get up and pick that cigar out of the humidor and try it for my next smoke, or pick up a few, bring them home and have them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's a great way to spread the word about cigars as well out there, guys. Like if there's a boutique you really like and you're in a shop and, if someone asks you, give them your full honest opinion. If you really like something, let them know, because you never know. You might have just created a new fan of that brand for you. And, we need more cigar smokers out there. I know there's quite a few of us in the country. I think it's like 3.5 million, somewhere around there, that are average, like once or twice a week smokers. But I think we can get those numbers up. I think we could double that. I fully believe that.
Well, I remember I got into the business the end of 1992, right after the first issue of Cigar Aficionado was published.
Nice.
And, that was a great thing for the cigar industry, which was on a downslide or a downturn for many, many years. And then Cigar Aficionado came, and boom, we had a cigar boom. And I think imports went up to about 600 million plus cigars, from Nicaragua and Honduras and the DR, etc. Now, from what I read, and, like most of you guys, I keep up with industry news. Even if you're not in the industry, you keep up with it because you're on different social media platforms, what have you. It's now about 300 million imports. But the thing about cigar smokers today, as opposed to during the cigar boom, a lot of people during the boom smoked cigars because it was the hip, trendy thing to do. And you could smoke anywhere because there weren't any, smoking regulations pretty much in bars and restaurants, hotels, things like that. But people smoked it to be cool. They didn't smoke it because they loved smoking a cigar. I got introduced to cigars when I was like 18, 19, 20 years old by my dad, God rest his soul. But he introduced me to cigars because he was a big cigar smoker, pipe smoker. And he brought me to his favorite cigar shop in New York City. You probably can tell I have a little New York City accent there.
Yeah, a little bit.
But he took me to his favorite store, which was the old Nat Sherman store, which was on 5th Avenue and 50th Street before it became the Nat Sherman Townhouse, which was closed down. And even before that, they had another location. But I remember doing that with my dad and him introducing me to cigars. And I remember my son, who lives in L.A., smokes cigars every now and then. He's on a health kick always. But when he was 18, he said, "Dad, I'll have a cigar with you." And that gave me so much joy. It's like something that fathers pass on to their sons. So I had him start with a Macanudo Portofino by General Cigar. The cigar is still out there. It's one of the best-selling cigar lines in the world, General Cigar. And after, a little while, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, he goes, "Dad, the cigar is really, really mild. I don't taste anything." And I said, "Okay, son." So I brought him out don't tell anyone, a Cuban Monte Cristo No. 2 Torpedo. Their world-famous torpedo. That torpedo is known throughout the world. And, man, he smoked that cigar about halfway, three-quarters through. He loved it, but after halfway, three-quarters, he goes, "Dad, is it okay if I put that cigar down? It's a little much." I go, "Not a problem, son." I initiated him. So I was happy. His mother was cursing me out like there was no tomorrow. But we get together. He'll light up a cigar with his old man, and we'll get a lot of pleasure out of that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I still get a little bit of the dirty looks from my mom about this whole thing. She doesn't understand that this is now my job. It's weird from being told as a kid, "Don't smoke. You shouldn't be drinking." Well, that's kind of part of the job. I can't not smoke cigars. I'm sorry.
Right.
I guess I found a loophole in that whole plan of hers. So
it's just like anything in moderation is okay.
No.
Smoking anything isn't the best thing for your health. All of us in the cigar industry know that. Anybody knows that. But smoking in moderation is fine. It doesn't have the chemicals. It's not addictive like cigarettes, etc. The vaping or the hookah, I think those are totally awful for you. And now it's so easy with the electronic cigarettes for kids to smoke it and, put it down. There's no fire on it, what have you. I think cigars are a great alternative, and it's a great way to celebrate life, to enjoy the day, to enjoy the company of others.
Yeah.
I know when I go out on the golf course, I always bring like 10 cigars for anyone that's in my foursome. I always bring 2 for each person, 1 for the front 9, 1 for the back 9, and then maybe 1 to hand out to whomever, the guy that cleans my clubs, what have you. I'll give him a $5 bill plus a cigar. He's very happy. But, 2 things I like to say I never run out of on the golf course. One is balls, and the other is cigars.
Nice.
Never run out of cigars.
I like it. And then Alex said that that's when he started smoking that's when he smoked his first cigar around the same time you were. What was your first cigar, if you can remember?
You talking to me? My first cigar was a Royal Jamaican, which was back then made in Jamaica. And I don't know if it's Altadis or General is bringing back the Royal Jamaican line, not made in Jamaica anymore. But that was my dad's favorite. He always liked the Royal Jamaican Goliath, it was called.
Nice.
And that was 8 inches. It was either 7 or 8 inches long by a 50-55 ring gauge. It was like a $4 or $5 cigar back in the day, maybe less than that. But it would last him at least 2 hours. And he turned me on to that cigar, and he knew it was strong. But, you know, I sucked it up for him, and I smoked it. Oh, Dad, this is great. Thank you so much. Then afterwards, I probably went inside and rinsed my mouth with water or whatever mouthwash, and now I always tell people you have to ease into cigar smoking. It's just like anything else, you know. If you want to start drinking beer, you don't start with something that's got a high alcohol content. You know, if you want to start smoking cigars, you don't go for a darker cigar, whether it's a Sumatra, or a Maduro. And, you start with something that's a lighter wrap cigar. And as most people, if not everyone knows, the lighter the wrapper of the cigar, the lighter the smoke is going to be, at least for the most part. But, having this Connecticut shade wrapper on this cigar just mellows it out. It's nice and creamy. I love it. And as you can see, I tapped out the ash once, and it's still burning. It's getting another ash to it. Very nice. I'll back up our products 100%.
I love that. And let's see, Leo's comment. I was smoking a cigar somewhere, and this guy asked me what I was smoking. I told him the name of it, but I can't remember it now. And he said, "Well, I wouldn't smoke something that cheap." And hurt his feelings because not everyone has deep pockets. I told him, "You aren't smoking it." I am. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a rule that my buddy Jeremy kind of coined when I joined Culebras. It's a members only lounge here in town, and it's how does he say it? Don't yuck on someone else's yum. You know, if they're enjoying a cigar, that's fine. It's their cigar. They're smoking it. There's no reason for you to talk down about someone else's cigar.
Right.
Yeah, and there's plenty that I might not go back to, but I can see why someone else enjoys them. Just because it's not for me does not mean it doesn't have its market, doesn't have its people who love it.
Right. Everyone not only has different pocketbooks, so to speak, but everyone's got different taste buds, different palates. I was on a podcast last week or so, and these guys had palates that I thought they were like wine sommeliers. They picked up everything. And there's a story I like to tell. When I was first in the industry, and I'm listening to an original Cigar Dave radio show. I don't know if you know Dave Zeplowitz, but he was known as the General, and he started the first ever cigar radio show. And this was probably in early 1993, so it was right after Cigar Aficionado first published, the end of 92. And his guest was Dick DiMeola. And Dick DiMeola, he was probably 60, 65 at the time. And he was the executive vice president for Consolidated Cigar Company. Consolidated Cigar Company, you might not have heard of it, but Consolidated is now Altadis, which obviously you've heard of.
Yeah.
So they changed names and they were Altadis. So I remember Cigar Dave was asking Dick DiMeola, who not only was a big executive in the industry for a major manufacturer, but had been smoking cigars all his life, decades before Aficionado came out, Cigar Aficionado came out. And he goes, Dave goes to Dick DiMeola, he goes, "Dick, how do you rate your cigars?" And he goes, "Dave, I don't understand these ratings in Cigar Aficionado where they say a cigar tastes like leather. It's got a leathery taste." So Dick says to Dave, "Hey, Dave, you ever smoked your leather couch before?" And he goes, "No." And then, he would say another review said the cigar tasted woodsy. And he would go to Dave, "Hey, Dave, you ever smoke a piece of wood? Because I haven't." Dave finally, Dick goes on and on and on. And God bless people that pick up different scents and the different descriptions that the different cigar magazines and reviewers use. But Dick said what I maintain is my mantra, how I like cigars. Dick said, "I rate cigars two ways. Those cigars that I like and those cigars that I don't like. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I really have a hard time telling you, unless it's really noticeable, that a cigar is cocoa taste or, grassy or woodsy or what have you. I can taste it much easier in the wines that I drink. But I really can't do that on cigars. But I could tell you cigars that I really, really like, cigars that I like, cigars that I won't smoke anymore. But you can't tell anything by the price point. Not really, because like I said before, I've had $2 cigars which were great. I've had $50 cigars which I didn't think were so great, especially for the money.
Yeah.
And I know I used to go to Vegas because I had 20 some odd casinos that I would sell cigars to as the exclusive supplier.
Nice.
It's like Bellagio when they first opened in Las Vegas at the end of 1998. They had 26 humidors on their casino floor and all their restaurants that they would sell cigars from. And, we sold Opus X's to them, cigars like that. And if anybody would smoke $40, $50, $100 cigar, etc., and Opus X's in Vegas at, these casino hotels are $100, $150. You never saw a person at the bar taking the band off an expensive cigar. They like to show it off that they're smoking something expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And if a person was smoking an inexpensive cigar, they would take their band off right away. Now, I don't take the band off. I'm not looking to promote, but I leave it on. It's easy to hold. When it smokes down to the band, obviously I take it off. But there are some great cigars out there that are $10, $15 that don't have a band. And having a band doesn't matter. I mean, there's an awful lot of Cuban cigars that don't have any bands on it. And but having the band is it's artwork for the most part. The boxes are pieces of art. Our creative designer, John Gehagen, who's been in the cigar industry for probably 50 years, the creative director of General Cigar Company in like the 80s, 90s. He worked directly for the Cullmans, who the company belonged to them before it went to Swedish Match. And he designed some great bands. He designed some great boxes. And, it's nice to have a nice band or a nice box, especially to those people that go into the humidor and they notice these things before they take recognition of what cigar it really is.
Oh, 100%.
So that doesn't hurt.
That is excellent right there. And on that note, we are over our time for today, so we're going to let you all go. But, Brad, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to get you back on here pretty soon.
It's always a pleasure to be on shows like the Bakersfield Gentleman. And I'm only sorry I didn't see your brother on the show, but that's okay. I had a better-looking one. And, God bless everyone. Stay healthy and smoke good cigars. And enjoy Bahama Mama's company cigars. And it's BahamaMamasCigars.com. Or you could reach me at brad@BahamaMamasCigar.com.
Perfect. All right, you guys heard that? Make sure to check it out. We'll be back to you tomorrow morning for the last Great American Morning of the week. What do you call it? Says Paul's ass kissing right now. Well, you know what? It's not ass kissing if it's true, all right? The better looking Rodriguez sitting right in front of you right now, guys. So, nonetheless, y'all have a great day. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will catch y'all next time. Have a good one, guys.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, Miguel.
No, sorry, Brad. While I still have you here, I just want to point out this is about how far down I've gotten so far, and it is still lit and still burning. So I'm going to keep smoking after the show ends. So y'all know that for sure, all right? Just want to make sure.
Spread the truth. Spread the truth.